if we're gonna go with classics, definitely need to play with a Vagrant Story. The Vagrant Story, another Squaresoft game. Damn you, Squaresoft, taking all my monies back then, because these ones I've bought more recently. So, but yeah, I used to own all these games back in the day in English, and now I have them in Japanese, because I like to make it all harder for me. So this is Vagrant Story. It doesn't have much in terms of a box, but it's got the usual manual with all the different explanations. Very nice kind of illustrations, and yeah, it's kind of like it's an RPG, but it's got an interesting battle system in that it's not. It's kind of like, I'll show you in a moment, but I quite liked it. You have to do a lot of crafting to get your weapons, and then you have to know which weapons to use against which enemy. A bit like you do nowadays in Monster Hunter. So it's not the first time you got something like that. Let's watch the intro a little bit. Right. Here we go. Vagrant Story. I wanted to check before we carry on. I don't think I have a save game for this. Like I've played this a long time ago. In English, as I said, and I never actually finished it because this guy had this defect or whatever. I used to get to this place. I can't remember what it was. It was like a well or something like that you were meant to go down, and it would be like a lot of enemies or whatever. And it would just freeze. That's completely freeze. Not go anywhere else, and I never go through that. I don't know how far down the game I was, but so this is an opportunity to maybe finish it. Have the same handicap I had back then of playing it in a language I didn't understand entirely. So here we go. It's a little bit dark in the palette. I mean it's dark, but it's. Hey, Killabri. Hello. It's just generally dark. Why do I think this had voiceovers? Maybe I'm confused. How's it going, Bree? All good? How's your poetry? He goes. Well, that's better than nothing. Thinking about how could get his hair, something like that. He's got amazing hair. Those watching on YouTube, feel free to join the chat. The text is visible on the stream. So I can't remember the plot very well, but you're basically a, I think they refer to you as a risk breaker. So you have this skill that allows you to, during combat, go beyond the limits that are imposed by your body, and so you can um, attack and fight a lot more than you'd be able to. But you know, the other common people, I guess. You're an investigator, like a detective, I think, and you're like checking out something dodgy that's going on. Something dark side, you know. Okay, so here we go. That's what the circle button. And what it does is it opens up this targeting area. Obviously, this is battle mode, as you can see top right. We got risk 0, so our attack will do as much damage as they can do. And so we need to get an enemy within that sphere to be able to attack them. Like that. Right now, so we have a choice of where we're going to attack them. And based on where we're going to attack them is the chance that we're going to hurt them and how much damage we're going to make. So we have the right arm, the left arm, the head, the body, and the legs. And then depending on where we attack them is the effect that it's going to cost them. Like, you can actually harm them in different ways depending on how you attack. So I'm going to go for... see, body's an easy target. You get 100% of hit, but you won't get any additional effects as you would with the head, for instance. So we're gonna go for the right arm, and I think at the time I don't have any special skills, so let's see. That's items. We don't need items. Status. See, here's the status of your different parts of your body, and depending on how that part of the body is whether you are fit for fighting or not. That's data, so we don't need that. Options. Okay. Quick. Manual, quick manual. Okay, quick manual. Options, data, status. Now I can remember. Okay, and then you have elements as well that you need to, like, whenever you're equipping weapons, they will. Hey Basad, nice to see you. You'll see. Thanks for the hosting, guys. So you'll see, depending on the weapon you're using, how often you use it, against what you use it, you build up or reduce some of those status that you see there. So the physics, air, fire, just got, so you got elements, but then you also have like types of damage: blowing, cutting, or impaling. So the piercing, blunt, and slashing, similar to Monster Hunter, I guess, in a way. Okay, and then what I'm looking for is, I can't remember how you do this. Ah, there it is. I found it. So you have a quick menu there that kind of calls your elements. Okay. Down. So Basad, do you know this game? You must do. I'm drinking from my trusty Street Fighter cup with the symbols of Furin Kazan. Oh, you've missed out then. Vagrant Story is an amazing game. どうだ見つかったか I actually can't entirely remember the details of the plot, apart from him being a detective and being quite a skilled fighter, or well known, you know, agent. You can get this on the from the PlayStation store for the Vita, possibly for the PS3 as well. I think the graphics may be remastered a bit. I'm not sure. Oh, his name is Sydney. Sydney. I was thinking, what Shidoni? What does that mean? And it's Sydney. That was his name. That's what happens. The good thing about a crossbow, I guess, is that you can tell when it's loaded. He's still alive. Right in the nipple. A falchion. You have such a variety of weapons in this game. Sort of crafting. You create the hilts, and you create the edges, and then you combine the hilts with the edges, and you make a sword. And then you can kind of like take, if you find two swords, you take the edges out of both, you combine them into a new edge, you get a new hilt, and then you got a completely new weapon. Right, so I can't remember how hard this gets, how quick. I think it gives you quite a lot of chance to grind, and there's some leveling up. And as I say, the more you use a weapon against an enemy, the more you grow its affinity. Right. Where we do most damage in the body. You can see we have risk. We had risk 0, risk 1 now. Go for the tail. That was quite easy. This is a game that has no, as far as I can remember, there are no FMVs. The whole thing is constantly using the same models. So even when you get the FMV, you can see that it just continues. It just plays around the model, which I think is pretty impressive, because then there's really not that much loading in that sense. It kind of looks like the ending more than the start, right? Done. Right. The body is but a vessel for the soul, a puppet which bends to the soul's tyranny. And lo, the body is not eternal, for it must feed on the flesh of others, lest it return to the dust whence it came. Therefore must the soul deceive, despise, and murder men. That's what I always say. So, who's Guildenstern? I can't remember. I think Guildenstern was the guy that was with Sydney. I'm not translating much because I'm actually struggling a bit, to be honest. This isn't got so the VKP are the names of the knights, I think. Valencia, the Knights of Valencia or something. I can't remember. Risk Breakers. I think the place down the catacombs is called the Amonde. I think that was the name of that area. I think the name of the main character is Ash. Is it Ashley? Vagrant Story. Ashley Riot. Leamonde is an old town with a history of over 2,000 years. Its walls have seen many battles. They are stronger than the mightiest forts of Valendia, and as the sun wheels through the sky, the beauty of their shifting colors surpasses that of any palace. The grand cathedral that towers over the town center is a symbol of Leamonde's indomitable spirit, and is the holy ground of the devout Iocos priesthood. At its height, Leamonde was a thriving community, more than 5,000 people strong. 25 years ago, a great earthquake brought that chapter in the Leamonde's history to a close. So what you'll find is that the game has all sorts of different enemies. So you have undead, you have beasts, you have lizards, human. So they have different types of enemies. So when you take, say, the sword and you attack a lizard, you grow the affinity. According to the survivors of our committed agent Riot, headed out for Leamonde before noon. Of course, the reports are vague, and we cannot deny the possibility of inaccuracies. Yet, given that there is only one path to infiltrate Leamonde, this office believes the reports to be valid. Thanks for writing that in English. That's quite helpful. And so the more you attack a lizard, your sword becomes more, increases the affinity towards the lizards, and you do more damage to lizards, but then you do less damage to beasts, humans, and deads, and all of that. You kind of have to like figure out, right, I'm gonna use this weapon for lizards, and so you need to think, what is the best weapon for lizards? Maybe it's a spear, because you need piercing damage as well. So you kind of have to like mix those kind of things. So the beast probably is a sword, depending on the beast. Like for example, if you have bats, you maybe want to use a crossbow, and you basically carry all that weaponry on you. And then you have specific places like smithies where you can go in and build your stuff. And as usual, you start with like I can't remember the thing, is bronze, copper, bronze, silver, platinum, gold, Damascus I think is one of the strongest, if I'm not mistaken. Kyotsukete, take care. See, I can read a few things sometimes. We sent men to monitor the abandoned mineshaft that leads to Leamonde. All were found dead. At the entrance another body was found, a knight of the Pope's Crimson Blade squad. Our men were murdered with swords, but the knight's wounds show he died by his own hand. At present we have taken the bodies into our custody, and our specialists are continuing the examination. It's got a very, dark air, like it's ominous, and it is obviously nowhere near as scary as the games you guys play, but you kids. Right. Okay, so this is now, we're in control, so we're using the analog. The left stick kind of allows you to look inside from your kind of eyesight. You can look up and down to the sides, but you can't move forward. You can climb up to things by just walking towards them. As I said, circle is your sword, and triangle is your status. And so here we go. So map. So we have a map that populates as we travel. Data status. See what I'm looking for that I can't remember. Okay, so here you go. When you press circle here, you actually can see what weapons you're wearing at the moment, right? So we have that, and we have a crossbow. So we can switch between one and the other. But the thing I'm actually looking for is there's a way to set. So these are all your items. You can see that you got room for all sorts of different weapons and stuff. What I'm looking for is there's a way to decide what your different skills are, and I think it's possible that I don't actually have any skills right now, so it won't let me do it. Let's assume that that's the case. Right, we're gonna play a little bit. We're gonna save it here. Save on. We're just gonna save on the second memory card. First one's running out of space. How's the sound? Can you hear the ambient kind of the groaning and the... I'll put the volume up a little bit in case you can't hear it. Right, so we need to be careful with chests, because some chests will be poison, you know, booby traps. So here we have a number of items that we can pick up. Sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna get all of that. White bottom. Okay. So now we have new items. So we can switch now a weapon between. I can't remember what that is. So this is a gladius. I think that's called a gladius in English. Gladius. This is a short hilt. Also, this isn't an actual weapon. This is just a hilt. So I think we just have parts right now. Okay. Ow. Okay. So as you can imagine, these enemies are easy, but it's not this easy all the time. Okay, so this game is very puzzling. So let's see, how was this? Okay, I think what you do is pick that up, put it in there, climb up. See, that kind of thing. And the other thing you need to be careful of is that there will be booby traps on the floor, and you can't see them. I think you need a skill to be able to see them. So it is pretty involved sometimes. Can you open it? You know, it's not possible. I think so. I think they're talking about a grimoire. So in this game, there's a lot of like magical things, like platforms and doors and things like that. And to be able to use them, operate them, I think you need a grimoire. Grimoire. Okay. And you can see that now that door is marked with a lock. That means that door is can open the door. Okay. So that was a trap that I don't think I've ever seen before. But it seems to actually hear you. So we're gonna remember what that is because that's quite handy. I don't think I've ever come across that kind of trap. An actual good trap. Is that the power of the grimoire? So you can see the grimoire is making the block move. Hey you guys, can we go together? Right. See, it's a little bit scary sometimes. Ow! You can see that the more I attack, the more the risk increases. And I need to, the more risk you have, the more chances that you won't hit as strongly as you could. We'll get into risk later and see how risk works. And I know the combat seems a bit button smashy right now, but the reality is that once you progress in the game, what happens is you start being able to concatenate your attacks, and when you can do that, you can keep attacking after one within your turn. Right. So a little bit more, and then we'll try something else. I think there's another one I need to finish. I just don't know. I mean, I don't think this, because it's all very puzzle based. Apart from discovering all the secrets, I don't think you get that many hints in the dialogue, so it should be alright for me to complete this game without a lot of help from, without having to read too much. So we need to use the power of the grimoire, I think, to go into this thing here. So with the ominous. How? You can see that my body is no longer blue, and that it is now starting to get greenish. So the idea is to try to get out of range, to be able to attack, and then survive it, and then get out of range, attack again, and so on, at least until you get your special moves. Right. So where do we need to go now? Where is the exit? So the map marks the exit, so it should be fairly easy to find our way through. Wow, that was a bad one. See, that is a bad trap. So we need to try to remember this. Now, while your weapon is sheathed, your risk decreases. If you get your weapon out, your risk stops decreasing, and you need your risk as low as possible. So you need to remember to always. But the problem is that then if your sword is sheathed, it takes an extra go, an extra press of the button for you to be ready for combat. I didn't do anything there, it was just luck. And there is a bit of a delay before I can attack the See, my risk is at 4 now, so I need to be careful. Okay, now look at this. So this is another thing about the puzzle. So I can only climb 2 blocks high kind of setups. Yeah. So I had to destroy that one so I could now climb up. Hey, dude. Ow, he's so far. Night is gonna bow. Night is gonna bow. Okay, let's catch him in the air. See, this is what I like. This is quite silly, but I like this thing of kind of catching them in the air like that, and keep them kind of in the air. Come on. Right, we need some healing soon. Items. Set up. Ah, there we go. QR the okay, so we got a bit more health. The other way I can do this is if I hold R1, no, Alt L2, and I press up, then I can go straight into the healing items. There's also items that reduces your risk. So if you're in a bit of a tight spot, you probably need to use an item and get your risk down to be able to carry on fighting. See, this happens sometimes where the landscape changes slightly. I caught him this time before he got me. There's quite a lot of timing in this game. But I don't think he can jump. I don't think he can jump. Okay. I think you come here. There's nowhere to go through there. I think we come in through the other side. That's why. Sometimes certain areas are completely inaccessible, and you have to reach those areas in a different place. You don't have to have a choice. Right. Now let's see. Okay. So we need to get this one. Not quite. I think we need to put it kind of. I probably need to use the diet. Oh, come on, dude. There we go. That's better. Okay, still not good enough. Pardon me. Okay, so what we need to do is come here, pick this one up. Can we do it? Let me think. How do we do this? Let me think. Okay. Oh, okay. Is that the way you do it? Maybe. I think we messed that one up. So what we're gonna do, this is what you can do when you mess something up. So you go through, you go back, and hey, it's been reset. Very helpful. Okay, so I think the way you do it is, oops, you pick this one up, put it there, and you can pick this one up, put it there. Where am I going with this? Maybe not. Okay. No. Alright. Let's look around a little bit first. So this should be fine here. Okay, nothing through there. Nothing through there. I can't remember. Maybe I can't do anything yet. That's the other thing, you know, sometimes you actually can't do anything on this until you unlock something else. Right, let's take a look around first before we give up so quickly. There's nothing else there. Is there another way to... Can you climb through here? No? Okay. I can't remember if you could... I think when you drop things, they drop exactly on the square. You can't just put something in on the edge, you know. Ah, of course. I think the trick here that I've forgotten about is that he can jump. So all you need to do really is to just jump. So you can go up. You can go up two blocks high, or 3 if you jump. Okay, forgot about that. I want to see if I can get quickly to the place where you can actually, where you can start learning how to do wheel racing, because that's where the combat gets fun. Okay, so that's locked. And if I'm not wrong, we need to destroy one of these, so you can get this one. It's been a long time, yeah? Very long time. There we go. Ah, I forgot about this. I was like, why is there a counter there suddenly? Ah, you can't climb if you're carrying a sword. Okay, so I think this just prepares you for all the freaking timed traps that are in this game. There's a lot of timed things here. Or you have to like pull something on the other place, pull the other one. Here's where all the psychological stuff starts getting a bit weird. And here's where you know what's going on. There's a dark past to actually Riot. Papa? Oh wait. Right. Okay. I think same as before, we need to destroy one. Pick one up. And then climb up. I don't think there's anything here. Okay. Right, I think we're gonna leave it here for now. Let's just see what's in this chest. Grand Kjönström. I need to remember what these things mean. Let's have a very quick look on Google Translate. So that is Sturam. What's strum? Okay. Anyways, we'll figure that one out later. Then Kiwa Baru. Barb, Barb. Cura. Barb. Cure valve. Bulb. I think it's bulb, as in like a potato, like bulb, like a bulb, like a not a potato, but like the shape of a bulb. Okay, it's curing. It's like a cure pot. I think it's for healing. Yeah, HP 100 points, and then the other one is HP. I'm not sure. I don't remember. There's two types of heal. I can't remember what the difference is. Anyways, great game. Definitely need to play a bit more. Don't know if you liked it. It's a bit slow, but it's very climactic. A lot of I mean, I'm not gonna say it's scary, but it's definitely has its moments. Especially if all you're used to seeing is 3D sprites like this. Alright, we're gonna have one